Oh man, what a letdown on Tuesday. The market did not give us really the gappers that we were looking for, at least in the morning. Maybe in the afternoon we're going to see some nice runs, but I'm done with trading for now. Maybe VIVE is going to pick up, so I want to talk a little bit about what we might see with VIVE. But overall, between U1, SGLX, ORTX, man, oh man, it was just an absolute disappointment out there. And from the get-go, I was a little bit sloppy. Pre-market, I was up a little bit, and then I was red again, and then I was green again, and then I was red again. At one point, when I was green, I should have just threw in the towel because it just wasn't that great of a trading day. And yeah, I basically just ended it red, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to stop here because maybe I can get back in the green, but I'm not even down that much. Let me just wrap it up. One thing I do want to point out, and when we go to the recap video in a second here, I'm going to say, oh, I'm on the phone with TOS, and we'll see what happens, and then I'll get back to you guys with an answer with whatever TOS told me. So after I literally finished the recap video, I finally got the answer with TOS. So I'm going to tell you now, and then just in the recap video, ignore any time I talk about whatever I'm going to hear from TOS in the future. So basically, there seems to be an order or an issue on the active trader right now with TOS, where if you place a limit order, and here's a picture. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to show you guys how this error message works, and just because I'm a little bit nervous with this going through, I'm just going to use one share here. So let's say I want to enter somewhere around 320 and I place a limit order right here, and then the price actually is moving up here, so I'm like, okay, well, let me actually get a little bit more aggressive, and I move this share up to 20 or 322, right? This is where your issue is caused because I'm using the ladder to move my limit order. So you don't want to do that. So I have a hotkey set up, Alt-D, that removes the order. I just clicked it. Or you can use, cancel all right here, which you can see Alt-D is the hotkey. So canceling there also works. Or, there's tons of ways you can do that. You can press the X here on the chart as well. That works. And what they said works is, let's say I have my order at 3 and I want to move it up here a little bit higher. I can obviously slide it here on the chart. They said this works. That doesn't cause the issue. These are the known issues that they told me are messing up the active trader. And a lot of people use this ladder, so that is something to consider. So again, placing the limit order on the order or the ladder obviously works, but the problem is when you move it and then replace it, let's say at 298. That's where the issue comes in. You can move it on the chart. They said this is fine. That works fine. That's all the issues that they were really able to tell me about based on my experiences. I don't know how many more issues they are. They also said there are some issues coming from this chart page, but basically the chart page and the active trader is where most of the issues are coming from. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, leave a comment below and I'll try to answer it as best as possible. And then in tomorrow's recap video, maybe we can go through it as well, or in the live stream tomorrow. But I think it's pretty straightforward. Basically, don't move your order on the ladder. You can move it on the chart, or you just delete it on the ladder and place a new order. And that should keep your TOS from crashing. There might be a bunch of other issues, but that's definitely one known issue I was able to squeeze out from support. Like always, the support time with TOS has been awful. I was on hold for like 30 minutes. Okay, maybe not even that bad, but pretty annoying. But their TOS is really, their TOS, ThinkorSwim support is really good. I always have good conversations. It tends to be pretty helpful, so I can't really bash their support. I do enjoy it. It's better than most other platforms. Even Weeple, like their support is like, they never answer my questions properly, and they don't have phone support. Hopefully they do in the future, but I gotta give it to TD Ameritrade, although has been slaughtering me lately because all last week we were having issues. Their support is pretty good. Let's go to the charts now, guys, and don't forget to drop a like if you enjoy the content. And if you're totally new here, remember we go live every morning at 9:15 a.m. to review the watch list, then trade the market open. Let's get into the tickers for today. All right, first of all, guys, I'm on the hold right now with TOS, and it's a 40-minute hold. So at least that's what they said. It said estimated wait time 40 minutes. So we're gonna do this recap video, and then I'll probably chill for a little bit, and then I'll probably still be on hold, and then God knows how long it's gonna go. I just realized wrong screen right here. So today we're ending the day a little bit red, down 113 bucks. No big deal. You know, we had some winners, we had some losers, and actually kind of funny here, turns out every ticker we traded today I'm red on. I don't think that's happened in quite some time, so it's almost like I just got an achievement, so kind of cool, but you know, it's like the achievement you don't want. Anyway, you know, today we didn't have a lot of follow through, and I think that was a big reason for it, because I had several good trades, or like, you know, nice base hits, and then I had several trades that should have been, you know, nothing really too out of the ordinary, and we just didn't get that follow through again and again. So, you know, even being like a more of a dip cautious trader today didn't really have the follow through. And actually, I want to show you guys something that's a little bit more almost sad here. The reason I say it's sad is because this is my stats here from July. This is July. 701 to 731, and you know what, I forgot to click on the unlimited account, because ultimately that's what we're going to be trading here. So let me quickly go to the unlimited account on both of these, and let's see here what's going on. So the unlimited account with all accounts, we're about roughly at 3,500. Just the unlimited account, we had 3,200. I didn't really do much swing trading last month, so 3,200. And you know, it was a pretty nice month. What I really like to say, or you know, what I was most happy about is that our average position size last month was about $1,500. So we doubled our, we basically doubled our profit, or basically we doubled our, how do I even say that? Our profit based on our average position size. I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense. So our average position size was about 1,500, and our net profit at the end of the month was 3,200, right? So it was basically a 200% return for us based on our average position size, which is really, really nice because I'm slowly growing that. So this month, you know, we are right now, our average position size roughly $2,200, and we're over 100% profit so far based on our average position size, which is nice. But you know, at the same time, last week really kept me from breaking last week's TOS issues and not being able to trade. You know, I felt like we could have been over the net profit line from last month. Again, this is like a super unsmart thing for me to be even comparing this month and last month, but that's one problem with having statistics, is you tend to be comparing sometimes and like trying to beat last month. What I do like to see though is that our total winners are looking pretty good, around 64%, and this month also around 64%. So everything's looking really nice here. Average winners a little bit better than our average losers. Compared to last month. This was very, very pretty much the same. So everything's looking overall pretty good. I was hoping that today we would continue that green streak, but we didn't really get to do it. So let's talk about these three tickers, SGLB. Let's start with this one, SGLB, and this should go fairly quickly here. Man, this is really what I'm talking about. Today was just such an ugly day in terms of follow through. So boom, pre-market SGLB, you know, pulling up really nicely. We were up, I think, like 200% plus on this one, 250 or so, 3 million float, really nice. US Infotech, awarded contract by Mitsubishi, all sound really good and gravy. And then we get these wicked flushes. So first big pullback here, I bought VWAP and 9-minute EMA, looking really good. Nice little win trade here. Second one, bought the pullback and then it flushed bound. Luckily, I got out before the flush because I noticed that this ticker looked kind of weak. So got out of that one for a small loss, and then, you know, bought a dip in here, and then I got out on this like move to the downside, which was just ridiculously silly. But you know, still, this was like an okay setup. I just probably, you know, jumped the gun a little bit too much on this one, so that was kind of unfortunate. Luckily, I didn't get stuck into any bigger flushes, and I don't know, SGLB out of the gates. We were having TOS issues. I had to restart my app twice, so I was not really able to focus on too much, and that's really, really unfortunate. So I don't know, SGLB, I think we pretty much did as good as that we were able to do on it today because yeah, TOS was just really not letting me trade too much. U1, I think this ticker I could have done better on today, so that kind of bothers me maybe a bit. 2 million float, US Broadcasting Company. On the 18th this month, they had an offering, which typically kills the stock price. Macro news with the BLM kind of protest. This was a big ticker around BLM times. They had no micro news, so there was no catalyst about this one. And that's why I'm so nervous on trading these kind of tickers with no catalyst. But this thing went up from 95 cents to literally $54 on no news. Crazy. It just was riding the whole macro trend. So what I like to see is typically a micro news. So like micro specific to the company, right? There's some sort of catalyst. So like if a biotech came out with, let's say, I don't know, a possible vaccine for the coronavirus. So we have news about the company, the micro, and we have a macro trend. Those tend to do very, very well. U1 was a little bit different in that regard. I felt maybe there was some news back in this area. I kind of forgot, but I remember a lot of like the tickers that were black owned and had a lot of the funding and stuff like that from donors and programs set up to support black owned businesses. They tended to do really well, and sometimes you couldn't even find any specific news on these companies, and that's kind of what I mean by the kind of great macro trend, but very, very questionable micro news, because you wouldn't really even find specific articles about any of these companies. They were just kind of riding the wave, and that's kind of what I was thinking today, because of the new protests that are popping around up based on the recent shooting. So U1, I was looking like, okay, well, again, like I have a hard time trading this company because I don't really kind of understand how important the news is based for this specific company. So it's like really hard for me to project these things. Anyway, I missed the run to the upside, which was really the best time to be trading U1. But again, like super unexpected, I felt like. I mean, this pop here of like 100%, like you just don't really see it coming. Anyway, then it pulls back here below VWAP. I buy a nice little dip trade on this one. Was pretty happy with this, kind of a small base hit. Had another like decent base hit here. But then at this big pullback, I had another good base hit here, but I didn't take my profits. Shame on me. I got kind of flushed out here. I bought a little bit more into this dip. And then I pretty much closed this one eventually at like I don't know, like an okay loss. It was like a 4% loss or so. But at this point, 612, 1824, it was like, an okay pre-market size. So kind of took away all my profits on U1, which kind of sucked. I had another trade here, which put me back in the green on U1, which was cool. But then, it opens up here. We have a good little dip trade, but it was a very small base hit. And then we bought here at around $5.67, and this is when I get kind of stuck into a halt, and I try to sell into the open of the halt, take some profits, or no, I pretty much get stopped out of this one, luckily, because it keeps on selling off. So I think U1 was just really like, it had some decent bounces, but at the end of the day, you just had to manage your risk on it because this thing kept on selling off. So it's just, I always say if a ticker's selling off like over 30% from pre-market, it's typically not something you want to be looking at. And this is why, we had really not a lot of tickers to even want to be looking at. So I kept on, trying to find opportunities here and there. And oftentimes I would make a nice little base hits. But just the risk was so hard to manage sometimes. And then, getting stuck in a halt on the way down, it's just like, ugh. So even the fact that I ended today, only down 113 bucks, I feel like isn't even that bad. ORTX, this is kind of unfortunate. ORTX that we ended the day right on this one, because I had 2 green trades and only 1 red trade on this one, which is a little bit frustrating, and I'll tell you why. So ORTX, 80 million float, US biotech company, UK presentation in some EU conference, which I think is pretty big. We've had 2-day rally based on that news. But the problem with this one is it's not my classic go-to setup. It's a 600 million plus company. I mean, I'm trying to trade 50 to $100 million market caps. So this is like way out of my range. 80 million float, ginormous. So the way this one was trading was very, very slow comparatively to like a 2 or 3 million ticker like SGLB. So I got some base hits on this one, got a nice little dip here in this area, and then it had a nice little pullback entry when we broke higher, had some volume coming in, and then I kind of rode this wave a little bit, which was pretty nice. I should have used much bigger size on this one, just because this setup was probably one of the better setups we had on the day. And then here I try to buy this pullback, keeps on selling off. I actually ended up getting stopped out, used bigger size this time, and this is the one that kind of cost me because I don't know, like these were nice trades, but smaller position sizes. Plus, the percent return was just not that big on ORTX. So it's like, ugh. You know, I had two pretty decent trades, but in the end of the day, kind of gave back my profit. So today was just like a lot of burning rubber, you know, just like, you know, spinning the wheels, made no real progress. I was up several times in the green. I was up like $70, $80 or something. And then I went red like $100, and then I went green again, like $20 or so. And then I went red again. It was just like, if I got green again, because I did like 2 trades, I'd probably just close for like, I would honestly be happy with like $1 profit green day. Like, it's just not one of those days where I feel like I'm going to be making that much money. Just not a lot of opportunities. So if I can end a day like today with a little bit of red or a little bit of green, I'm usually pretty happy. Unfortunately, we're ending today, you know, down $113, which is still kind of a little bit like like based on, you know, our average position sizes right now of like $2.5 thousand. I feel like as long as, you know, I'm not down 10% of my average position size, so that would be down $250, it's not really a bad red day. Like, it's still a red day, but it's not a bad red day. So if I had like a $250 loss day, that would be a bad red day. If I have a $250 green day, that's, you know, gets like a nice green day. And then if I have like a $500 green day, that's a really nice green day. And if I'm down 10% of my average position size, that's one of my rules, down 10% of my average position size, sometimes I say max position size, I stop out for the day. So ideally the max I can lose is $250 right now. Obviously, let's say I go in with a $2,500 trade, we get halted down, we can have a big red day. I mean, it's not like we can't still have a negative $1,000 red day. It's totally possible. But, you know, if I notice I'm a little bit sloppy today, if the opportunities really aren't there, I am able to mitigate my risk by just saying, you know what, let's pause off the trigger a little bit, because clearly either I'm making some mistakes or the opportunities aren't out there and I'm just starting to shoot into anything that looks okay. So then I have to walk away a little bit. VIVE was a ticker I haven't really talked about, and this was probably one of the, I don't even know what to say, man. This was probably one of the better setups, maybe, I don't know. VIVE, 60 million float, US medical company, positive study results. You know, this was one of the lead gappers today, and I was excited about it. But look at this, you know, pre-market, just this such a strong sell-off, 35%. And then, yeah, it did recover a little bit. So basically on this pre-market recovery, maybe I should have paid a little bit more attention to this. But I don't know, this is like the same old story, and I wouldn't have been surprised if it pulled back to 0.8 and then if it kept on selling off from there. You just don't know. It's a bit of a hit or miss. But then, you know, with this, you know, being a kind of a around the dollar territory, which I usually, you know, tend to avoid a little bit because of the big spreads and a little bit harder to control your risk. You know, this thing gets halted because of that spread, and, you know, up 25%, gets halted, goes up another like 25%, gets halted again. So this was a huge move, and this would have been a beautiful move to ride. I missed that move. There was some good opportunities on VIVE. I think like really jumping in on some of these cleaner setups. So the first pullback to VWAP could have been a good opportunity. You know, hindsight's always 20/20. Just got to keep that in mind. We had this opportunity right here. I remember it was happening, and I was looking at it, and I think I said it. This was at one point a red candle and was down here at 116, and I was like, this looks like a pretty clean setup because we're having our first pullback as some green volumes coming back in above the 9-minute EMA on one of the lead gappers on the day. I should have went on that move. Boom, instantly right away it pops up here 12-13%. That would have been probably, after that trade, I would have called it the day, because I was like, okay, that's pretty much as good as it's going to get. I had a quick pullback again here, so had one more opportunity, 8%. But at the same time, you never know when this thing is going to flush to the downside because of that low volume. And, you know, a lot of these other moves were just, you know, very red. So like, it was a tough day today, and honestly, if you walked away green today, congratulations. It was just a tricky day. But red days don't really matter. Like, you know, as long as you keep them small, it's a totally fine thing. So not really bad at all. And yeah, I'm pretty happy. I'm not like upset that today was a red day. VIVE, big support here between 7.8 or 0.78 and like 8.5, roughly 8.6. Let's see what happens today. I wouldn't be surprised if it just kept on selling off, maybe had some few more bounces along the way, especially around like 0.75, 0.76. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be trading VIVE the rest of the day. This was definitely the lead gapper on the day. Maybe we'll see it tomorrow. I kind of doubt it, but who knows? Technically, it could have some room to run to like about 1.5. There was some resistance if you scroll back, and then bigger resistance around 2 to 2.2. So if you scroll back, you can kind of see these zones a little bit more critical. So 2.2 was a lot of ceilings. We had this kind of touch here at 1.5. So, you know, I would probably be looking at, you know, pretty straightforward psychological support and resistance zones, half dollars and whole dollars with VIVE. So we'll see where this one goes. I'm not going to be trading the rest of the day. I'm pretty sure about that. We had our pretty nice entry with SPCE 2 days ago. So I'm going to let this one ride out. If this one pulls back here below 16, I'm going to average in it again if it pulls, and then my total goal for this is to retest 20. But for now, I'm basically just going to keep this trade, and then like I said, if it pulls back below 16, I'll average down here a little bit. If it cracks 16 and really sells off, I would probably sell my whole position on a retest of 16 and close the position there for probably, I don't know, a small loss or so. So we'll see what happens. Right now we were up around 7% pre-market, even more. It was a pretty nice pre-market, but it's been kind of selling off here all day. So I don't know, let's hope it continues, but if not, you know my game plan. So we'll see what goes on. At the moment, just kind of a slow day here, hoping for a better week, and yeah, keep grinding along. So far, so good. And I'm gonna get back to the phone with TOS. Right now I've been on hold for 22 minutes. So let's see what kind of answers they get. Apparently, they can walk through some steps with me that will make my app a little bit better. I'm a little bit tired of constantly having to restart TOS. Today I restarted it 4 times. So let's see what happens. Let's see what advice they tell me. I'll be sure to share it with you guys on the live stream tomorrow, and I'll be sure to share it with you guys as well on tomorrow's recap if there's anything that's actually substantial. Otherwise, I'll, you know, hopefully remember to say it made no difference. All right, guys, that's everything for this video. Don't forget to drop a like if you enjoy the content. Really appreciate it. Consider subscribing if you're new. Join us in the live streams. They're always good fun. Yeah, guys, till then, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.